ESPN Radio. Before we get into Monty Williams being fired by the Phoenix Suns and not being out of a job sooner than later, Jesse wants to weigh in about the head coaching firings in Houston at 888 ESPN. Jesse, what you got?
Hey, good morning, fellas. Good morning.
Good morning.
This question really goes about not just in Houston, but overall, why does the NBA recycle coaches that were not successful to go someplace else? Why do they bring in an assistant or someone brand new to have a whole different look? Because personally, I'm a Lakers fan, but I think Steve Kerr, I think he's going to be out of there in Golden State, and also Doc. I think Doc already got the moving truck at his house. So
wow. I'm
just saying, what do you think? Why do they always recycle coaches that were not successful here or there? Why do they just think of something totally different and bring in somebody new that's got a whole different look upon how to run the team?
But it all depends on how you define success. If it just depends, because remember, it's only two teams that's going to the championship every single year. So when you look at coaches in sports in general that have some success, sometimes it just the right place gets you over the hump. You know a guy is a great coach given the circumstances and how far he's taken a team. A guy like Jay Will, for instance, could go and coach college or in the NBA if he put his hat in the ring. Doesn't mean that he's going to go to the NBA Finals immediately. He may take a doormat team and get them to a certain position. People would deem Mike Brown an unsuccessful NBA coach, but now look what he did in Sacramento.
I think it also depends upon where that team is at that particular juncture.
Yes.
Like if you're talking about like Charlotte, that's very different than talking about the 76ers, right? So a lot of times people say, well, just bring in an assistant coach. You know how hard it is to manage strong personalities? Like that, it takes somebody who has a strong personality or somebody who's had experiences, with other strong person. That's why you hear Nick Nurse's name, right? Because Nick Nurse, for that 1 year, his play calling offensively is incredible. His schemes are incredible, but also he had to learn how to manage Kawhi Leonard and pair that with a Pascal Siakam and with other players. So there's a lot to be said about that in that experience ultimately.
One of the things about that, go ahead.
And Darwin Ham takes over a Laker team that has veteran experience as a first-time head coach who's been on the block as an assistant coach and as a player. All the circumstances are different. They totally different. Luke Walton take over coming to coach the Lakers. That's like, nah, because that team wasn't a veteran team that was a championship caliber team, so he couldn't do the same things with them as he could do with a championship caliber team.
And because of Darvin Ham's success, a guy like Phil Handy, for example, an assistant, may get a longer look because what he's been able to do. And Phil Handy's been a guy that many people talked about for more than a minute about being an NBA head coach. And, Jay, something you said about personalities. Not so much big personalities, more than ever before, just handling personalities, period. Because somebody may think their personality is enough that they're contributing to that basketball team. And that was something that Monty Williams, I thought, did extraordinarily well because when you have a Chris Paul, the Kevin Durant for a short time, even with a Devin Booker who has an ego, not an ego, but enough an ego, you're handling so many different personalities. It wasn't his fault that the new owner came in and wanted a new voice because more often than not in those situations, Jay, when you come in, you want your own people that you feel comfortable with. He never wanted to get comfortable, in my opinion, with Monty Williams because he wanted to bring somebody else in to make the Phoenix Suns better, more of a championship team.
And
see, Freddie, I would slightly push back on you for that.
Okay.
I think that is one of the reasons why he is being let go. Hearing things around Phoenix about the relationship that he had with CP3 and how that worked with D Book and how he lost DeAndre Ayton and Jay Crowder because Jay Crowder was the one guy that would get DeAndre Ayton on the same page. And, then that dynamic shifting with bringing in Kevin Durant and a lot of questions with CP3 being out. Like this to me is that this is a sign that the franchise is handing the keys to Devin Booker fully right now. Like I think you're going to see this franchise moving forward with the ball in his hands a ton, with them playing at faster speed, with surrounding him with some different pieces. And I think you're going to see Devin Booker really choose with KD kind of looming as help and advice on who is the right coach for the style of basketball that he wants to play and that can hold him accountable. I think Monty, could hold CP3 and others accountable, but I think it all starts now around D Book and what he wants moving forward.
Okay. All right, that's good. I mean, when it comes to that pushback, not going to argue that point with you.
Just telling you what I heard. You know
That's
what
fine.
you hear.
You've heard a lot more. That was just me voicing opinion in terms of
Go
Mike
ahead. I
Williams.
want to hear some argument. Never mind.
No, we're not going to argue about that because he has more intel than I do. We're not going to give you what you want, Keyshawn, as far as that goes. But when it comes to Monty Williams,
I got enough arguing in my life that'll last me a lifetime. Trust me.
you want to share
But
the
see, Freddie, I
class?
still think Monty Williams could be a great coach at NBA.
I completely
think
agree with that.
He'd still be a great coach. I think that time and all the moving pieces with injuries, like that kind of ran its course. But it doesn't mean that he couldn't be a great head coach for another franchise that needs one to get over the hump.
Maybe he goes to a Charlotte, or maybe he goes to a Toronto or something like that and becomes a better head coach. I mean, it happens, man. I mean, that's just the reality of it. Is these guys that continue to get the opportunities to coach again, just because it failed in some people's eyes at the destination that they departed from, doesn't mean that overall they can't become successful head coaches.
Look at Mike Budenholzer, because in Atlanta it didn't end well. Then he goes to Milwaukee and they win an NBA championship. And 2 years after that, they moved on from Mike Budenholzer. So, Key and to Jay, to your point, it's what have you done for me lately in that situation? Milwaukee felt they ran its course with Mike Budenholzer. Phoenix believed that with Monty Williams. Toronto completely believed that with Nick Nurse. And at a certain point, those guys have proven that they can coach and win championships, Jay, as coaches, which make them not just recycled head coaches, but appealing because they've been able to win at that highest level and take their team to the promised land and have a chance to have a team win.
Would you take a look, Jay, at Phoenix called?
Would I take a look at Phoenix called?
Yeah, would you take a look at Phoenix called? I'm
no,
serious. I'm not
no.
joking. I'm serious.
No,
Why?
not because I don't think Phoenix would be a great opportunity. I don't think I would have. I don't think I have enough experience for any team to win a championship off the bat with the pressure that Phoenix is going to have on them. But it also, Key, like when I hear players say things like, well, that's not really up to me, I'm like, when it comes to head coach, I'm like, stop lying, man. It is up to you. Like, and you can defer and you can put it on, management, but management wants to listen to you. So, like, I say little things like, there are little tidbits that get dropped here, Freddie. Like, if Devin Booker wanted Monty Williams to be the head coach there, with all the conversations looming around CP3 being waived, them looking to trade DeAndre Ayton, don't you think he would be the head coach there?
Oh, Devin Booker can do whatever he wants to. They're not getting ready to not listen to him.
So that's a sign of what's about to come. Like, that's what people need to look at those things when those things occur.
Unless his personality is such that he just don't want to deal with it, he don't want to be involved in it. He's like, I don't want no parts of that. Maybe that's Devin Booker's
think about
personality.
Coach Bud with Giannis. When Giannis is like, I would have loved if I had the opportunity to guard Jimmy Butler, but it's not my game plan. Like, there's a lot of stuff, man. You just read into it, you see what's happening. Regardless of how things get spun.
You always drop breadcrumbs on the ground when you want to send a message, and people will pick it up and run with it. And without you actually, voicing your opinion strongly, you just, like you said, hey, man, I just do what the coach tell me to do.
Yeah.
So why is it the coach telling you to do something different? I just do what he tell me, whatever that is.
Yeah, I like him, but I don't like him like that anymore. There's a lot of that going on more than ever before in the NBA, and maybe depending on some NFL teams as well, especially the quarterback has that kind of stroke with that organization. It is Keyshawn, J. Will and Max, Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, Freddie coming in for Max Kellerman on ESPN Radio, as well as ESPNU. What is next for another head coach in the NBA that many people believe could also be on his way out? We'll get to that after you have this from NHTSA. Every day there are drivers on the road who decide